South Africa's annual consumer price inflation was 6.0% in July, down from 6.3% in June. Statistics South Africa data shows the consumer price index increased by 0.8% month-on-month in July 2016. Stats SA data shows that prices were up 0.8% on a month-on-month basis after a 0.6% increase previously. Core inflation, which excludes the prices of food, non-alcoholic beverages, petrol and energy, rose slightly to 5.7% year-on-year in July. This from 5.6% and to 0.6% month-on-month from 0.4%. Housing and utilities decreased from 1.6 percentage points in June to 1.4 percentage points in July. The index increased by 5.8% year-on-year. Transport contributed 0.1 of a percentage point in July. The index increased by 0.8% month-on-month, mainly due to the 11 cents per litre increase in the petrol price. Davi Wood, economist, joins us on the phone line. Davi, good day and welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you think may have contributed to the slowdown in the CPI figures?
Yeah, good afternoon. Well, you touched on a couple of issues that contributed to the high or the slowdown in the inflation rate. Things like, of course, there are some items that increased in price. A couple of things that added to the inflation rate generally, and we've seen that the last couple of months, is that the food prices are increasing at a relatively strong rate. And we've had a number of other increases, like, for example, under housing, there's an item called water. That increases certain other costs as well. But I think a general trend that we are seeing now is that the slowdown in the inflation rate has to do or had to do with what we've seen in the exchange rate of the currency. So a stronger currency is filtering through to a slightly lower inflation rate. But I'm afraid the recent weakness of the currency will have exactly the opposite effect as well.
Davi, you mentioned the slowdown as one of the main reasons in the CPI. What does it mean for everyday consumers? In lay terms, how do you explain what a slowdown is?
Yeah, well, the inflation rate currently at 6% is lower than the previous months when we had inflation in excess of 6%. And that simply means that prices are still going up. So the inflation rate has gone down, but it doesn't mean prices have gone down. It simply means that prices are still going up, but at a slower rate. So on average, prices in South Africa has gone up by 6% compared to a year ago. So the average inflation rate of South Africa is 6%. And of course, factors like, for example, the exchange rate of the currency are all factors that affect the inflation rate.
Is this a good sign, Davi, for the economy, and can it be sustained?
The question is just, can it be sustained? It's certainly it's certainly good for the economy, but the question is, can it be sustained? And I'm afraid the recent weakness of the currency is likely to put upward pressure on the inflation rate again.
Thank you very much, Davi, for that. That was Davi Wood, an economist, giving us his own opinion and outlook on the CPI. The rand continues to weaken on the back of speculation there will be a U.S. interest rate increase within the year. In addition to this, economists are also linking the announcement that Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan will face the Hawks in an investigation in a SARS rogue unit. The market will be focusing on Janet Yellen's comments later this week, where top global central bankers gather annually. The rand followed emerging market currencies and stocks, which fell for a second day after hawkish comments from a Federal Reserve official strengthened speculation that there will be a U.S. interest rate increase within the year. The rand was trading at 1.6% weaker at 13.59 rand to the dollar at 6:45 a.m., while the pound was down 0.73%, which is 17.72 rand, and the euro was down 1.03%, which is 15.33 rand. The first sign